So, I have some news to share with the pod. Things have happened.
You might say we've lost some things.
Yeah, some tragic things have happened. As you might be able to tell, our mascot Pot of Greed is now no longer a Pot of Greed.
Nah, you might say it's a shard of its former self.
Yeah, so I may or may not have broken the Pot of Greed. And this is really unfortunate news. I felt that I owed the community an explanation because
It's been with us for so long.
these are the remnants, the remains of or it's not all.
Well, that's
of it.
not all of it.
Yeah,
Right?
this is the Pot of Greed. It's now a shard of greed. Here's the story. So I was recording a little video the other day, and I was like, "Here's all my cool Yu-Gi-Oh stuff I've got, and like where you can get it." I was showing off.
I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, I was showing off all these little things, figures and toys and plushes and stuff where people could get them. And I might or might not have left the pot at the edge of a table.
Ooh,
And
I know how this story ends. What was it like?
lo and behold, it ended up on the floor. So, yeah. The pot is gone now. I mean, it's here, but it's like it's in pieces. It's gone. Pour one out for the Pot of Greed.
Yeah, pour one out with your pot if you got one.
Yeah.
But you know, that's actually not the first time the pot's broken.
That's actually true. That's the funny story about this. This is like the hidden story, the hidden lore. Back when we were at one of our older office locations, we were...
It wasn't even that long after we got
wasn't
the
even
pot.
that long. And in fact, it was like around the time that I was doing one of those collection videos, actually. I was doing another collection video. And
Cursed.
yeah, it was our friend Victor. He, helped us out with APS stuff, somewhere behind the scenes sometimes, works on emotes and shirt design sometimes. He actually dropped the pot and broke the handle. And the Pot of Greed that you guys have seen in all the previous episodes for the last however long actually has just been super glued back together, at least the handle for it has. The funny story about the pot breaking this time, I should have brought that other piece, is that even though it fell, that handle stayed.
That was some good glue.
So the super glue worked. Now I just have to figure out what to do with this pot. Like, people have had many suggestions. Some people say just keep it as just like a shard of greed. Like it's just, what do you think?
Keep as a shard of its former self. Remind you of what you've done.
Other people have said that I should actually try to there's like a tradition apparently in Japan or something where like you kind of not like tape up, but glue back together something with like gold paint, and it's like a
Oh, I've seen those.
like a thing, like a sign of maybe healing or curse breaking. What do you think? What do you think I should do?
I would love to see you try and put it back together.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. I got to get some like glue or paint or something and try to do that. But with one broken thing comes new life, because I have another announcement for the pod. The pod is related to pod.
The pod spot.
So I have finally gotten my hands on
Da 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 da.
my very own.
There might be glare on it.
Yeah, our very own oversized official Yu-Gi-Oh! Pot of Greed.
Look at it.
Is it not
Worship
amazing?
it.
Yeah, this.
Wouldn't you much rather that over this,
I mean, in my perfect world, I'd have both.
Well, you do. In a sense.
Yeah, in a sense. So we're going to try to find a way to involve this prop somehow. I'm going to redistribute everything and get this as part of the set. But, oh, God, something's falling.
We're going to break this
You
pot
can see how
too.
things break around here. But yeah, so I finally managed to purchase this overlarge Pot of Greed, and it looks pretty good. It will be a part of the set at some point.
Now, it's not a giant card.
Yeah, it's not a giant card. It's an oversized card, which these are all like prizes that you can get at YCS events for anybody who's curious, because people will oftentimes ask me about it. But yeah, so I just thought that I needed to address that at the, kind of just top of the morning.
I feel like Paul owes all of you something.
I don't think
because he took from you guys. That pot wasn't just Paul's pot. That was your pot too.
Anywho.
So Paul is going to send a pair of his socks to everyone. It's in the Premiere. Premiere gang, rise up.
Yeah, so welcome back to the Pot of Greed.
No, I'm not doing your part.
Okay. Well, okay. So welcome back, though, to the pod as normal. So actually, it's not normal. This is also Friday that we're publishing this.
True. We pushed it a day back because we knew the Pokemon Day live stream was happening, and we wanted more things to talk about on the pod.
Yeah, that's true, because we get to talk about all that. I even wore one of my Pokemon shirts as a sort of celebration,
And I'm wearing Pokemon shoes that you can't see.
Oh, God, yeah, you got to lift your leg up a little more.
That's as high as it goes.
Okay.
In fact, it's getting lower at every second passes.
Well, anywho, yeah, we decided to deck ourselves out in a little bit of Pokemon attire this time around. Yeah.
That's the best I could do.
Those are the Charizard or the Charmander?
Yeah, these Charizard shoes. I don't know if it's... I can't see the screen, so I can't tell if it's...
Yeah, the Pokemon shoes from Clark's, if you were curious. Okay, well... One's in the premiere, if you're watching. And you should not say any of your parts. I gotta say everything for you?
Once you've changed up the formula, I don't know what to do with myself.
Okay.
I'm off rhythm now. I'm waiting to get back on rhythm. Get to the review.
Yeah, we do have a review. So, this is from Austius. Actually, just left this on Tuesday. The best pod on the internet.
Actually,
it's the only pod on the internet.
Oh, they get it.
To correct him.
Oh, wait, they didn't write that.
Yeah, he said the best pod on the internet.
Yeah, we are
the truth is we're the only pod on the internet. So I just wanted to say thank y'all. The pod has kept me up to date on a lot of things I'm interested in, and I look forward to every new episode. I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! After discovering that Yu-Gi-Tubers existed, y'all being amongst the first. Since then, I've gotten into Digimon as well. Thank y'all for being here week after week. Your parasocial friend, Austius.
We parasocially love you, Austius. Yeah. Remember, and in a sense, guys, we're all parasocial friends.
Yeah. In a sense, yeah, you could say that. That's what kind of everybody is. Anywho, thank you for the review. Really appreciate that. If you guys ever want, you can leave a review. 5 stars really helps out.
Wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, it should be available everywhere. And if not, then just a thumbs up on the premiere. Shares it around. And now we got to get into the Yu-Gi-Oh! News.
All right.
There's a good bit of it, which is Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem.
Oh, yeah, Monster Mayhem.
Yeah, so they have announced this year's Battles of Legend set, and here are a couple of the surprises in store for us. Number 1, it's time to chibi. Get your hands on 10 cute-as-a-button chibi variant arts of popular monsters. We've used the chibi art style on accessories before, but it's the first time that they've actually been used on actual cards. Mm-hmm. And just to be clear, these aren't tokens, they're fully playable cards with game text. So the 2 that they show in this image is Blue Eyes White Dragon and Gore is the Emissary of Darkness.
That's a very unique pairing.
Yeah, but I guess there are going to be several of the cards that got those chibi arts. Do you know what game those chibi arts come from?
They remind me of some of the what was that? Like Puzzle and Dragons or Monster Strike? Something?
No, it comes from this old Yu-Gi-Oh game called Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Arena.
Duel Arena?
Yeah, and I don't remember if it was a only mobile game or what, but I'm actually looking it up right now. But I remember when they released these.
Is it older or newer than Yu-Gi-Oh! BAM?
So Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Arena was an official online Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card simulator. It had an automated duel system that allowed people to duel on the internet. The open beta opened on May 30th, 2014, and
2014?
The official version released on June 26, 2014. But on January 28th, 2015, God, that's 6 months later, it was announced that the game would go offline, which it did in March.
A lot.
So it was a very short-lived little Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing, but it did have the chibi-style characters and monsters.
I think it's interesting that I didn't know about Duel Arena since 2014. I was very much into playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I would have thought I'd be keyed into things, but I was also, the big boom of like Wygo Pro and stuff.
Kind of feels like it, yeah. So I do remember like seeing these art cards. I also have a Blue Eyes little plush that I really should have brought with me. It was in the video the other day. But yeah, it uses this same like artwork of Blue Eyes. So it feels like they do use these on merch sometimes. But yeah, no, they're just making them into cards.
I'm actually really happy with that. The OCG gets so many alt arts for both OCG and like Rush duels. And we're just getting started.
Here's the second thing. By the way, this Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem comes out on June 13th. So this summer. But
all right.
Number 2, Bling Out with Style. So new in this set, Emblazoned Ultra Rares. Each pack of Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem comes with a Dragon Maid, Punk, or Orcus themed ultra rare card with a custom emblem for that theme, emblazoned right on the card's text box. So similar to where the 25th anniversary
like where the
logo would have been on a QCR, they have like a logo that's on the card, and it's like, I guess, the Dragon Maid icon or the Orcus like icon. Yeah. And I thought this was kind of interesting. There are 51 emblazoned cards total, including 6 brand new cards, 2 for each theme. So what do we think?
So this reminds me of an OCG product. What was it called? I forget. It was the one that had the Chaos Angel not Chaos Angel, the Underworld Goddess product.
Yeah. I don't remember what those were, but they made one for Chaos Ruler, Underworld Goddess, maybe one other card.
And what was interesting was there were the designs of the products. So there's like a deck box and sleeves. They had like symbols that represented those monsters that I'd never seen before. And now we're once again seeing like symbols to represent these archetypes. And I'm like, when did they invent these?
Yeah, it feels very OCG-esque, and it kind of makes it seem fun. Like they're sort of like this set, just like the chibi monsters, emblems on the cards, like really kind of making it creative. Now, it goes on to say that Starlight's return. So if you've been following, you'll know that we've kind of been wondering for a while now, like what's going to happen with Starlight rares now that the QCR thing is finally ending.
Thank God.
Yeah, so they say Starlight's return. Okay, some people saw this one coming, but the surprise isn't that Starlight rares are back, which they are, but that they're a lot easier to get. Last seen in 2023 as extremely hard to find cards, Starlights were about 1 in 600 packs.
They were hard to get.
Starlight rares will be in Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem at about the same rate that you could find quarter-century secret rares the last couple of years. So that's to say 1 in about 3 or 4 boxes. So what do we think about that?
You know, the appearance rate of quarter centuries is one of my bigger issues with them. So I'm not that happy, but I genuinely like the Starlight rarity appearance
wise. I think it's way better
than quarter centuries. So I'm a little bit up, not all the way up, just a little up.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think they should have just kept Starlight as very elusive, but it feels like what they probably want to do is just literally just QCR is out, Starlight's in. Same printing rate, same nothing really changes.
They're just going to replace it.
And I guess it's not a bad thing. It's more people get to have Starlights. And then number 4, not a surprise, but lots of new cards. One thing you can always expect from a Battles of Legend set is new cards for your decks, and always all foil. Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem has new cards for Nekroz, Gymnite, Jirok, Fabled, DD, and Magistus decks, plus a lot more. These are all different supports that we have seen.
Those are all duels,
the first 4 are the dual terminal ones.
Right?
Yeah, the first 4 are the dual terminal ones. Then DD and Magistus have gotten support in other places. They're just importing it all in this set. Also not a surprise, but this massive 177 card set has plenty of old and new favorites you might still be looking for. Primite Lordly Load, anyone?
Ooh.
Or wanting to grab as a foil upgrade. King of the Feral Imps has been most displeased by his apparent lack of sparkle, which is to say that there's never actually been a
has it always
foil
been
King of the Feral Imps.
Common?
Sounds that way. I don't know. I thought that there was
a
foil one, but maybe there hasn't been.
Wait, what are we playing? That's right. The whatchamacallit? Mitsurugis. I keep forgetting that people were overlaying into the Feral so you can start searching for Mitsurugi pieces.
So yeah, each 5-card pack of Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem contains 1 secret rare, 1 emblazoned ultra rare, 3 other ultra rares, and the set size is 177 cards.
I wonder why for the emblazoned archetypes they went with Orcus, Punk, and I'm blanking on the last one.
And Dragon Maid.
Dragon Maids.
Don't know what that's about.
Like
really.
a bit of a motley crew. No, these aren't unpopular archetypes. I know that each one has a fan base to some degree or another.
It feels like they're not connected.
Crew.
Like I guess they're like a theme to. I guess I was gonna say.
Let me see. Dragons, machines, and psychics.
Well, I thought the theme was gonna be like music, right? Like because like the
punks
punks and the Orcus cards are like kind of
like
instruments. But then there's like Dragon Maids, so it's like I don't really know what that's about.
They could probably play an instrument, I guess.
So, how are you feeling about this Battles of Legend Monster Mayhem?
So, there's not much for me in this set as far as the archetypes that I like to play and the cards that I collect. But I'm not mad at it, honestly. I think it's a good lineup.
It feels
I might
fun.
still end up just picking up cards and just because what ends up happening with me is whenever I don't think I care about a set, I end up just buying a box just because I'm bored one day or buying some packs. Then I start reading some of the new cards and I'm like, maybe I can. And then I end up building a deck. So while I'm kind of whelmed on it right now, it'll probably grow on me once it comes out.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I mean, I'm pretty optimistic. I think that the chibi thing is cool. I think that the icons are cool. Like I was saying before, it feels more OCG-like. Mm-hmm. Like, they're really celebrating the fun side of the cards and all of that. So next little product thing is that OTS Pack 27 is dropping soon, but Konami is actually already revealing the first card that's going to be an OTS Pack 28, which is Blue Eyes White Dragon in its original starter deck artwork.
Oh.
So this is going to be the ultimate rare in OTS Pack 27, and that's kind of exciting because Japan originally got this artwork as an ultimate rare back in 2001 in their set Spell of Mask, which I don't know what.
That was back when our sets did not line up at all.
But yeah, so Ulti Blue Eyes White Dragon. Thoughts?
I mean, it's fine. I hate Blue Eyes decks, but I love the original Blue Eyes, so it's fire. I want one. I think everybody should want at least one ultimate rare Blue Eyes White Dragon. I actually
wonder how this is going to go pricing wise because the OTS packs have kind of in recent years really been falling off in terms of like the value of those cards in the secondary market. And it's a bit strange because typically OTS ultis were sort of seen as quite prestigious, but it sort of feels as though nowadays.
Yeah, they've definitely fallen off. I think it's become more pedestrian to have your OTS ultis. You're just supposed to get it if you care about your cards.
It feels like for some people QCRs are the more valuable ones. Like for instance, I recently picked up Ultimate Rare Lows, like Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, that was in this last OTS pack, and I got them for $11 each.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which was crazy. But then I saw that the QCR version of her is still like $50-$60. And the old secrets are maybe like 20 or 30. So I mean, like it's weird to see low like a card that you think like, oh, this is as an ulti, this should maybe be worth more. But yeah, it's not. So
I mean, but this is Blue Eyes.
This is Blue Eyes. I think this is going to be different. I do think that for collectors, this is going to be a really big pull. So if you're a collector, you'll either be just buying this secondhand or maybe like it might get you to go to a tournament.
So I mean, wouldn't this be the only? I mean, well, that art of Blue Eyes. There aren't too many rarities it hasn't been. Like,
there aren't. I don't think that. I mean, this art of Blue Eyes has only really ever been. I want to say it's maybe only ever been an ultra rare. I don't know if that's true though.
I guess because it's never been a ghost. It's never been a secret.
Yeah, I don't think they've done a secret rare of the starter.
I can't think of a time it's been a secret. So yeah, I mean that art, having that as an ulti, that's a flex.
Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, next thing is Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection. Is releasing this week.
Guess who's gonna be playing?
Will have been
between
yesterday.
Monster Hunter.
Oh, is that also coming out this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, it's out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection released on the 27th because you're watching this on the 28th. I'm gonna be doing a stream of it this weekend. I'm pretty excited. I don't know which game I'm actually gonna play yet. Maybe like the one I'm most interested in playing is probably either Eternal Duelist Soul or Sacred Cards. Because those are the two that I kind of have very fond memories of, but I don't think I got to like finish them as a kid. So
I'm playing the whole thing front to back, back to front. I want to finish every single game, even Rush of Destruction.
You know what I think would have been so cool for Early Days Collection is I think it should have been on mobile.
That'd have been cool. I don't think there's any reason it couldn't be. The types of games that are on there could easily be played on mobile.
Yeah, it's on the Switch and the Steam Deck, which is also kind of strange. Like, why not just toss it on the PS5 and Xbox? Like, just toss it on the PSN store. Like, I don't know why it has to be like Switch exclusive, but anyway.
I mean, but if it's on Steam, it's on PC, which that'll be
a lot of people
player base.
Yeah, so that's going to be kind of cool. I'll be streaming it tomorrow when you guys are seeing this. It'll be like on Saturdays when I'm going to be streaming it. So definitely tune into that. And also, another couple of quick things. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel got a new ban list.
It sure is a
Absolutely
Thursday.
wild.
Or a Friday for you guys.
This is the possibly smallest Master Duel ban list we've ever had, and arguably maybe the most like pointless.
Okay, what they hit?
Signet Mining went from 2 to 3. Swap Frog went from 1 to 3.
Oh, okay. Just unlimits.
Yeah, so just kind of like these little unlimits for decks that have kind of long since,
I forget was it Sprite with Swap Frog?
Yeah, Sprite with Swap Frog. They could abuse it pretty hard because it was just such a good little easy level 2 engine that also didn't require a like committed normal summon. Mm-hmm. And Signet Mining, consistency for Cybers decks, particularly Mathmech comes to mind.
Yuck.
I'd like to remind everybody, of course, I know people are saying like this is the worst ban list ever. Like who the fuck cares? Like these lists mean nothing.
I feel like we get a worst ban list ever every like couple months.
Well, you have to remember with Master Duel is that like this sort of ban list, I think people are looking at it from the lens of like a TCG ban list where it's like, oh my God, we waited like 4 months or whatever, and this is all you do. But here's the thing, there's going to be another Master Duel ban list next month.
Yeah, I mean, Master Duel ban lists, they're more iterative.
Yes.
They're not trying to correct the format in one fell swoop like TCG does. They're trying to just adjust their macro format every some odd weeks. They just want to make some changes to try and steer the format ever so slightly. They're not trying to make hard pivots. Right, they're just trying to get a slight curve.
The biggest
going.
ban list typically will come after Duelist Cups, and there is supposed to be a Duelist Cup in March, I think. So after that concludes, probably early April is when we can expect to see a new ban list.
So this time you're gonna get your Worlds invite, right?
We'll see about it. It'll be fun.
Look, Ryan, Paul's coming for you.
Yeah.
Paul's coming for Ryan,
We'll see.
We're gonna start this up. We're gonna have some beef like Kendrick and Drake going.
Shout out to Ryan Yu, by the way. Such a like very talented Yu-Gi-Oh player. I was watching.
Okay, hey, stop J. Coling this. I'm trying to get you like Kendrick and his Drake.
I was watching a video where like he and a couple other players were like ranking, like did a little Master Duel deck tier list. It was just fun listening to them talk about it because they're so they have such a good understanding, I think, of.
Are they better at the level of success they've seen?
Yeah. Another little quick Master Duel update. It was hard fought, but guess which 2 monsters won the Master Duel sleeve contest? From the ones that I mentioned last week, which 2 monsters do you think won?
I'm trying to remember the full list.
Okay, I will try to pull up the full list so that you can guess which 2 decks were the winners. So here's what they were. The update was Tearlaments, Kit Kalos, that one was that normal monster, Marinfin, yeah. Maxi, White Forest, Diabels of the White Forest or whatever, the Synchro.
Diabel.
Yeah. Lady Labyrinth, Pearly, Traptrix, Rafflesia, Flame Wingman, Diabels, the original Sin Keeper, or whatever, the Diabel's rival, and Red Eyes Black Dragon.
So remind me, was the scope of this poll global?
Yeah, it was a global vote.
It's global. Okay.
Which do you think won?
Now, I'm not going to vote for what I want it to win. I'm going to choose what I think other people
What did you want to win?
So I wanted it to be Diabel and or Flame Wingman.
Okay.
Were some of my favorites. I like the White Forest stuff, so that's cool. Any of those would have been cool as well. But I think there's enough Chaos Agents in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I feel like they forced Marinfin as 1, and I think Lady Labyrinth at 2.
Okay, so the surprise answer is not all that surprising, really. Tearlaments, Kit Kalos, and Traptrix Rafflesia.
Oh, those are boring.
Yeah, so just kind of the boring, like, fun waifu
I thought maybe
things.
Chaos would win the day. Actually, I really did think Lady Labyrinth would beat both those decks, though. I thought like straight up that.
I did too. I know she's very popular. People.
But wait, which labyrinth is that?
It's the same girl in both, actually.
Yeah, but like which one? Which art?
It makes
a difference.
The one where she's standing.
Is the one with the
or
sword?
actually, the one she's got like the weapon.
Oh,
like
no, never mind. It's got to be the other one.
Yeah, the one where she's in her armor, not in her dress.
Oh, see, never mind.
Yeah, I guess if she's been in her
of course
dress
that one lost.
Okay, now here's another thing. Did you catch the VTuber Master Duel tournament?
I wanted to, but I thought it was going to be on the weekend, not in the middle of the week.
Yeah, that was very strange. I actually did not catch too much of it. I saw that Fuamoko won, I believe, or like Team Fuamoko, the VTuber Master
I have
Duel
no
thing.
idea what to think of that statement.
I know you said you tuned in a little bit to some of the VOD later. What was the vibe? I didn't get to see too much.
Chaos. Not that like it was run as if it was chaos. It's like there's a lot of chaotic energy from the VTubers.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, but it was that kind of fun chaos. Like you just don't know what they're gonna say next, which I think is one of the big appeals of VTubers. Like they typically just get off all kinds of random things. But this time, they're tasked with playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think because from the few clips I've seen so far, that's the most amount of banter I've ever seen during a Yu-Gi-Oh game in my life.
Yeah, I also saw that Konami Europe's been doing this, a couple of different campaigns actually that they've been on the tertiary, and I haven't quite noticed them. But there's one Master Duel thing where they've got some VTubers that are working with people like Joshua Schmidt and like other kind of content creators that are in their program, and they are like coaching these VTubers. They've been doing like some little video series with that. Mm-hmm. I know that those EU series don't always get as much attention, so I hadn't really been following, but that's been happening. And then also they're doing one with Duel Links. I saw that like Tombox was in it and Rev's cards, and I think they're basically like working with. I don't want to I haven't watched it, so I can't really describe it. But like I think they're working with some people to like some famous non-Yu-Gi-Oh people to teach them how to play Duel Links or like
How famous we talking? Are we talking like Hugh Jackman or
No,
The Rock?
it's like more like just some influencers I have never heard of.
Oh, okay.
Not to say that they aren't meaningful influencers, but just that I have not heard of them. So but yeah, so there's definitely like a lot of different initiatives going on. And then the last thing is that they announced that there's a third Shadow Duelist campaign happening in Master Duel.
So the first Shadow Duelist, that was Zayn Malik, right?
Yeah, first one was Zayn Malik.
The second one was I'm forgetting his name. I see his face in my head, but I can't remember his name.
What's his name? Creed.
Like, was it Creed?
Something Creed, right?
Was Creed his last name? That wasn't it.
No, that's like his like stage. Like, what? I don't watch wrestling, so I actually just don't remember.
I thought it started with an X.
Xavier
Woods.
Yeah,
there it is. Okay.
Yeah, I don't watch wrestling, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, Xavier Woods. But it's like Austin Creed is like his stage name, I think.
Oh, who would have thought?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess if you're a big wrestling fan, you'd know.
A little quick thing is that the EU thing is called Duel of the Titans. So like I saw in this post, it's like the Scarlet Queen or HoloLive Justice did something in this clip. Helped in her quest by the loyal captain of Snipe Hunters, Gamebreaker, Joshua Schmidt. Watch Duel of the Titans today and follow ER Bloodflame on her journey to become the greatest duelist in the land of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel.
Boy, it's a full court press with these VTubers.
Yeah, I think Konami like kind of struck a little deal with HoloLive, and they're just like doing everything. So,
I mean, HoloLive is pretty aggressive about pushing their like newer acts. Because I think everybody that so far is a part of like HoloLive Justice, which I want to say is one of the newer groups that got brought in. Mm-hmm. But it makes a lot of sense. Like Konami's tried to work with like larger influencers before, but typically they can't find a price point that works. While HoloLive is a large agency, they are not going to ask for Ludwig style of money,
Yeah,
there's a way to cut a deal, and it helps that these will be like corporation to corporation negotiations instead of like corporation to like influencer who lives in his basement.
Yeah, and then this other thing is called the Duel Links one is called Create the Links, and so like here's just this very short little clip where I guess they're like Yeah, like there's just these content creators who are working with these
Form
other
overseas.
people to learn how to play Duel Links. I don't know very much about it, but that's what it's
So
called.
it is wild to fly across the world to learn to play Duel Links.
And, like you couldn't just pick up your
You
phone
can
at
just
home.
pick up your phone and hop on a Discord call. Like this, and Duel Links has enough tutorials that you can learn how to play just from like firing up the app.
And my last little thing I'll just say about Yu-Gi-Oh! News is right now there's like a bunch of little social media campaigns going on around Early Days collection. Like they're giving away the playmat. I saw some other thing. They're giving away like a little Time Wizard plush and stuff. So go on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Socials and like find them and do those sweepstakes. Try to win yourself something.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's all the Yu-Gi-Oh!
Then on to more
Yeah.
card games. That is.
More card games. What's happening in the world of card games?
So I want to complain.
Okay.
So
We do that a lot here.
We talked about the Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy collaboration.
We did talk about it.
Pre-orders went up on Amazon. They had decks, they had boosters, they had bundles, they had starter decks. And most of that's sold out now. Those pre-orders are gone. And I have no issue with that. What I do have an issue with are the secondary market listings that have already gone up, scalping these products sky high, multiplying the price that they paid to even get their orders.
So what have you seen?
So the commander decks, the MSRP on them was like $75 a piece, right?
Yeah.
Well, on TCG Player, you will find listings for about $120, $140.
These are for the commander decks?
These are for the commander decks.
The $70 MSRP commander
For the
decks.
$70 MSRP.
And so they've been marked up to this high. Okay.
Now, I don't know what the MSRP was on the collector's edition commander decks. I want to say they were like just over 100, 120 somewhere. Well, those bad boys, they're closer to like 350.
They're selling for that much.
And because they actually are selling for that much, there are people trying to get off $900 price tags on them just because the people are more than willing to pay $300 for these. Which I need to do my research and find out what's so special about these that makes $300 a worthy investment.
I heard that, I think somebody told me that the collector's ones have like serialized cards.
And it's cool if they're serialized, but
something.
are they $300 serialized? I don't know.
Yeah, that's high. I mean, I guess, but here's the thing though. We knew when we talked about it before, like people are going to be jumping for this stuff, and it's already bad enough that the MSRPs of the products are higher. That was kind of the focus of last week's discussion. But now we're seeing just the scalping commence. Like
the scalping is so out of hand because they're just trying to prey on people who have FOMO. They're scared to miss out on this product.
And it's weird to me because sorry.
I was like, and the thing is, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I was gonna say, like they're gonna Wizards is gonna like print enough for you to be able to like get it at your card shop. Like
these are just pre-orders. This isn't a secret lair. This isn't even a limited release set. This is a mainline Magic the Gathering set. There have to be enough cards for their standard play. They're going to print this set. There's no reason to be buying up these hyper-inflated prices just because you're afraid you won't be able to get them. You will. You'll be able to get them.
So have you pre-ordered yours or?
No, I did not get my pre-orders in on time. I still might, depending on if my local card shop can hit me with a decent enough price. But I do not mind just waiting for the official release.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel
not
like
that serious.
That's probably how that's gonna have to go because I think that people who are scalping right now, shame on you. But also I'll add in that if you are buying these scalped things, shame on you too. Like, don't listen. That is enabling it. I don't care how much you think how cool Cloud looks on the front of the little deluxe structure deck. Just wait and buy it when it comes out because, like, by doing it now, you just kind of enable the whole scalping pre-order hype. Like, I wouldn't.
Like, it's best to starve this type of behavior. Just like starve them out. Wait for the official release. Like,
Something you showed me earlier that really upset me was like you were saying like a person had listed it at like 998.
Yeah.
And that's one of those people who's just listing it that high literally just as a placeholder. Like, let's see how.
Let me see what I can get away with.
Yeah, let's see what I can get away with.
I can lower it later. I'm just gonna see if I can get away with it now.
Yeah, and I really hate that kind of thing. So yeah, don't enable that behavior.
Like, hold strong.
Keep it in your
Don't
pants.
give in. Yeah, your wallet. He means keep your wallet.
Keep your wallet in your pants. Well, happy Pokemon Day, Alec.
Happy Pokemon Day. I tried to show the shoe again. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to do like me, do the whole like leg cross, then they can see.
Ow. Ow.
But
can they see? I can't tell if they can see.
Yeah, they can see.
All right, see their Charizard themed. It's orange, the kind of like mustardy yellow, and then there's like green up here.
Oh, Pokeball somewhere, I think, or something.
There's a Pokeball where?
I don't know if it's on the design or not.
Oh, I don't see a Pokeball.
Okay.
There's a Charizard on the tongue, I believe.
Yeah.
I can't see it, and you can't see it, but it is there.
Yeah, so Pokemon Day was yesterday when you guys are listening to this, and that's actually why we delayed the pod, because we were thinking, there might be some exciting Pokemon stuff to talk about, and there kind of is.
It wasn't crazy, but it wasn't nothing.
So they did their Pokemon Presents, and I guess we can just kind of go through these things one by one. You got it pulled up?
No, I thought you had it.
Okay, I got it pulled up right here. So Pokemon Concierge Season 2.
I didn't see Season 1, but I did like the concept.
Yeah, Pokemon Concierge was that like sort of claymation,
like stop motion
style Pokemon show that was on Netflix.
It's really textury looking Pokemon, very textured guys.
Yeah, it's going to be coming later this year in September. So I guess I should probably try to watch Season 1. I don't know how long it is.
I don't think it's many episodes.
It's about this girl and her Psyduck, and they're kind of just exploring the world. She's learning about how to be a trainer.
Well, she's learning how to be a concierge.
What is that exactly?
They run like an inn or a hotel.
Okay.
And so it's more of a customer service thing. So I don't think there's battles in this show.
Oh, okay. So I'm really off the mark. Pokemon Go. There's a new season of Pokemon Go titled The Season of Mastery. That's a name. Set to be released in the mobile title starting on March 4th, with Cubfu and Urshifu to be added during the season's events.
I got nothing. I haven't played Pokemon Go in years.
Yeah, Pokemon Go to the polls.
I mean, I'm happy they're still going, and if you're a Pokemon Go player, I hope that this is good news for you.
Yeah, I mean, all I know of Pokemon Go is that I remember when they added battling, and that was a big deal. I remember when they added like trading, that was a big deal. I think that they just kind of run events and seasons, but I think that the biggest thing I remember hearing was that when they stopped making you actually have to walk to play it. Like I
don't know if they stopped, but you have to walk. I think this reduced how much you have to walk.
Yeah, something like that. I guess you still go to locations, but maybe it's not as.
Because I remember, early in Pokemon Go, I mean, you had to walk. Like there was no way around it. The Pokemon were not coming to you.
Yeah.
Like you could be in your house, open up the app, and you would just see like, is that a Dragonair over there, like a Dratini? And it's like, I can't wait. It's like it's outside. I need to go and find this thing.
Walk downtown, get your ass off the couch, go touch some grass.
Lame.
I always thought Pokemon Go was pretty cool in that way, but I get why. Like I guess I just wonder: do you think we'll ever again have a moment where everyone's united like that? Like, do you remember like those early Pokemon Go days?
No, too much has changed.
Yeah, I think too much has changed. Like 2016 just can't happen again.
I think ever since the viral event that will not be named, I think we've all fundamentally changed as people. I think our values have changed. Our ideologies. I think our political alliances have changed. I do not think we're coming together for much of anything. We might come together for a civil war.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Pokemon Masters EX
it'll be Team Valor versus Team Inspire. That's Civil War.
Wasn't there three?
There were three. It was like Valor, Mystic, and not Inspire. Instinct.
Which were you?
Which one's red?
Valor.
So I was Valor.
I think I was Team Mystic. That was like a whole thing. Pokemon Masters EX is getting a major new event with Neo Champion versions of Brendan and May, each with a shiny version of Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre.
I just want to say that was the most terrifying thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, it was like crazy. These little fucking 10-year-old kids who are just commanding like these black and
shiny primal legendary gods
with these little grins on their face. Like kind of scary.
So that's a lot of Pokemon for a small child.
I don't actually play Pokemon Masters EX? I actually remember when it was just called Pokemon Masters.
I actually did play Pokemon Masters, and the only reason I stopped is I lost my account.
What was it like? Like, was it fun?
I had a good enough time.
It was the game where it was like there's characters from the game, and they have like a signature Pokemon, and you kind of fight them or collect them or something.
They're so you would pull for it's a gacha game. You would pull and you would get a trainer who has a Pokemon, and then you would do battles and stuff.
Right.
In a unique way. It wasn't like how you play in like VGC. It was a different style of Pokemon battle. But it was a fun game. But I forget why I stopped playing. I think I spent a lot of money that I shouldn't have, and I felt bad about it.
Alec, why is that your story with every mobile game? It's like every mobile game. It's like, I think I just spent too much. And
I think there was a Lycanroc I wanted, and that was an issue.
Pokemon Cafe Remix will be updated tomorrow with a new event that adds Flapple and Appleton as helpers.
I'm mad about that because when I saw the Appleton like jelly thing, I thought that was real food that was being made, and I was like, yo, I can't wait to get my hands on this. And they were like, nope, it's for the game, and I'm like, oh.
Pokemon Sleep. Cresselia and Darkrai are going to be added to Pokemon Sleep soon, although details are light at the moment.
I thought that was a cool trailer. It took me way too long to figure out what it was about.
So I guess it's like since Darkrai controls nightmares, it kind of would fit with like Pokemon Sleep,
Yeah, because Darkrai would like put you to sleep and then give you a nightmare, and I guess Cresselia stops it.
How did you... So if someone can inform me, maybe who's listening, or maybe, I don't know if you know... Pokemon Sleep, it's just like a sleep tracker game, I think, right?
I guess so. I've never played it. I mean, my assumption is you go to sleep and it just like tracks whether how restful your sleep was.
And that's how you catch the Pokemon or train them. What an interesting concept. Pokemon Unite. 3 new Pokemon are coming to Pokemon Unite in the near future. Suicune on March 1st. Alolan Raichu in April, and Alcremie soon.
So you pointed something out during that trailer that I can't unsee now, that the Suicune had clothes.
Yeah.
And then that made the Alolan Raichu and the Alcremie look naked to me. And now
yeah, because they don't have anything.
I can't shake the fact that Alolan Raichu is just naked. And all Pokemon are naked, but Suicune had clothes on. So that's
the thing about Pokemon Unite. I don't play it much, but it's a MOBA, and so with MOBAs, it's very important that these characters have a lot of different skins.
Yeah, you gotta have cosmetics.
So it's the only Pokemon game, if I'm remembering correctly, where Pokemon wear clothes, and they'll just have this is so and so.
Are you forgetting about the Squirtle Squad?
Those are sunglasses. Wait, didn't they have jackets too?
And jackets.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. In Pokemon Unite, a bunch of Pokemon have just here he is in his Hawaiian vacation thing. I saw there was one that had that. Or there's one I saw a Lucario one where he's wearing something. So we can obviously have a little.
But now that means the other Pokemon are naked, and that makes them indecent. Question: is Gardevoir wearing clothes?
I don't even know if Gardevoir is in the game.
But no, in general. Because Gardevoir looks like it's wearing a dress, but is it wearing a dress or is that just it?
So I've always wondered that about Digimon, where
that's different. That's a whole other game.
Because I just
Digimon are data, Paul.
Well, no. Here's why I say that is because every time I brought it up with you, I've always been why are these Digimon wearing bodysuits and bras and pants and belts and stuff?
Because that's
data. But then your explanation, which I guess is canon, is that it's just part of their data. So Were Garumon's little skinny jeans are part of his.
It's part of
his biology. So that's always been kind of weird to me. I guess with Pokemon, I would assume with Gardevoir that's not a dress. I think that's just part of Gardevoir.
Oh, so Gardevoir is naked then?
No. Yes. Ooh, God.
Suicune wore clothes, and it has changed my opinion of Pokemon.
All right, Pokemon TCG Pocket is getting a new set in the game today, I guess, when you're watching this.
It feels so soon for me.
It's called Triumphant Light.
I just got my Immersive Art Palkia, and now we're getting a new set.
That Immersive Art Palkia looked really cool, by the way.
It was cool. I liked it.
Ranked battles are also set to be added to the game in March, which that's kind of interesting to me. I'm not doing online play in Pokemon TCG Pocket.
I would never.
Not my wheelhouse. Too many coin flips. But what do you think about that? Do you think people are gonna really?
Oh yeah.
compete in like TCG Pocket, like climb?
Yeah, they will. They will. People will compete in anything that they can compete in, as long as there is not someone currently considered the best. There will be a huge influx of people who all want to be the best, and even after that, as long as they can still be the best at something, or at least better than others at something, they're going to compete.
I want to be the
like
very
you won't
best.
catch me playing ranked Pokemon, but I did find a deck that I can tolerate a bit more because there's no coin flips. The problem is sometimes my opponents use coin flips, and that's fine when their coin flips are bad, but when their coin flips are good, it makes me want to punch somebody.
Yeah, I don't think I could do like ranked
I get
battles in
violent,
that.
and I have a new phone. I can't afford to be violent with that phone.
You're gonna just punch your phone screen out?
I'll throw it.
What phone did you get?
I got the new Samsung S25 Ultra.
That's cool. I recently picked up
Check it out, guys. I even got a new case for it.
Oh yeah, show the case. They have to see the case.
I don't know how well they can see this.
Show it on your yeah.
There we go. There it is.
Ooh,
My
that looks nice.
Sharzaku Xeon case.
From
Casetify. So you can
please sponsor us, Casetify. It'd be cool. We will show people your things. Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm getting a Pixel 9. It just came in the mail today, and I've yet to open it. So I've been very excited.
I couldn't wait that long.
Anywho, the Pokemon TCG, this is the physical TCG, is going to be getting new Mega Evolution EX cards later this year, with Mega Evolution set to work differently compared to how it was featured in the past. Knocking out Mega Pokemon EX cards will award up to 3 prize cards when knocked out. So that's kind of like how I think VMAXs are as well, where when you knock them out, you get 3 prize cards because they have so gosh darn much HP.
Oh, I forgot to mention, TCG Pocket's going to have a Tyranitar in it, so I'm going to break my moratorium on spending.
It doesn't take much with this guy. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet get some new Terra Raid events. So there's a first one is a 7-star raid for a Meowscarada starting today, and the other Paldean starters will follow in subsequent weeks, with more 7-star raids coming in the future.
We over this, yo.
2 mystery gift codes for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were revealed too, which give a Rotom phone case.
Enough of these old Pokemon games. You know what we on.
So here's the 2 new Pokemon games. These certainly have a lot of people talking. The first one is Pokemon Champions. So it's a new online battle simulator. It looks like it could be a big mainstay of competitive play in the future. Battles will play out similarly to the main series games, and multiple battle gimmicks like Mega Evolution and Terrassalizing will be available. So this is actually huge, in my opinion.
It's what Pokemon's needed for a while now.
Yeah, this is effectively like Pokemon's Master Duel.
Yeah.
Like, so to speak, or its Magic Arena of sorts, like whatever you want to call that. Because up to now, you know, competitive battling was something you had to like play like on the official games, which meant like
you had to go through all the rigmarole,
raising the Pokemon,
like
getting all this stuff.
Raising them, and
there's always
getting your
controversy
stats
with
right.
hacking, or you can like play on Pokemon Showdown, but Showdown was kind of more of like the EDO Pro dueling book
unofficial.
Type thing. Unofficial, got to like kind of download it. It's not the same thing, and obviously you can't like you can compete in like Showdown tournaments, but you cannot play
like official.
Like you won't be able to like
sponsored tournaments.
Get into the big sponsored thing, go to Pokemon Worlds, be the next Wolfie VGC. He won a huge thing this past weekend, like the largest.
Doesn't he do that all the time?
Yeah, he did, and he made some iconic little statement. Wolfie's pretty cool. He's like definitely Pokemon GOAT. But yeah, so this game is going to be an online battle simulator, and what interested me as well was we saw in the trailer a Mega Pokemon fighting against a Terrassalized Pokemon.
Yep.
Which makes me wonder, is Gigantamax also going to be like a thing?
Maybe everything will be in it. Maybe they'll be in like seasons where like this season we can Terrassalize and we can Mega Evolve. Next season we get Z moves and we can Gigantamax, you know?
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun to rotate them, or maybe just offer them as separate formats.
Because like I fully expect, because of how many iterations of and generations of Pokemon there have been, and how many ways these battles have been done, I fully expect champions to have multiple either circuits or just seasons to it, because there will be people who want to just get their simulated Pokemon game on, where they don't want to go through the BS. They just want to play with optimized Pokemon and compete. There will be people who actually like the VGC model. There will be people who specifically want to raise their Pokemon and then compete with people who also raised their Pokemon, because they showed it does have connectivity with home and you can trade through games. And I think that's specifically so they can keep VGC a thing still.
I wonder the kind of more like brass tacks question. What's the monetization structure going to be?
I mean,
like, how are they getting your
free
money?
to play and every resource you can put in the game, like every like extra currency and upgrade, like.
Or actually, I guess to get more specific, because like I'm so used to things like Master Duel and these other sort of maybe gacha games where it's like you spin and get stuff. I wonder though, because Pokemon works slightly differently than that. I guess like you could pull for Pokemon and kind of like have them come out of a pack or something. But that feels more like a card game thing. Yeah, that's like more of a card game thing. So it makes me wonder, like, is there going to be more like just it's a shop and you like, okay, I want a Lucario for my team. So do I just like pay 500 gems and it gets me a Lucario? And then at that point, are we going to treat it kind of like how the video games would, where like its IVs are all kind of randomized and like its nature and all that's randomized? So like, I'm paying a set amount of gems. I'm getting like a randomized Lucario, and then I have to tweak it. Like, what will be the process of like doing your EV spreads and doing your IV spreads and move sets?
That's why there has to be like circuits or seasons at play, because the one Lucario isn't enough, right? If you build that Lucario a certain way, it is built for a very specific purpose on a specific team in a specific format.
So you'll have like probably multiples of these Pokemon then on your account.
My guess is they might give you a bank of Pokemon to use in a given season or a given format, and then you can tweak those Pokemon how you want through whatever like monetization system they implement, whether you're using the little mints to change their stats or the poffins or whatever.
I'm wondering too, like move sets, like will you kind of have TMs, like, TM whatever flamethrower? Is it going to be kind of a case where you have to pay to have a flamethrower that you can teach to any of your Pokemon? Like, how...
And it might even be better to just make this a platform that you pay the full price for, and now you just get everything and can do what you want with it. Might be a little bit easier. I know everyone loves their little like live service, like
here's why I don't think that's happening.
Microtransaction heavy nonsense.
The problem though is like it's on Switch and it's on mobile, like iOS and Android. So iOS and Android, anytime something's on that, there's no way you're charging like $60. True. It's got to be just like some freemium model.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just very curious. Now, as far as how that actually, just the premise of it, I'm really excited. I do want to try this out. I think that so many people are going to finally try out competitive Pokemon now that it seems like that barrier to entry is going to be lowered so much.
It might cost you some, though.
Yeah, it might cost you some time, might cost you some pennies. But, with how popular competitive Pokemon like VGC has become, thanks to people like Wolfie and other content creators, I think there's a lot of people who want to get into it, and now this will be like their jumping on point.
Agreed. My expectation is that getting Pokemon won't be hard. I think you'll be allotted those. It'll be tweaking them.
That's where they'll pull it out from you.
Then they just reverse it. It turns out getting the Pokemon is hell, and you can just do whatever you want with them once you get them.
Last thing I wonder about this is, are they just going to replace the VGC tournaments with this? Because this seems like it's a far more focused battle sim, and it will save you the time of like making your team in game. So like, will regionals and like worlds and stuff have this in addition to VGC, or will it maybe replace it? I
feel like it can be a very robust platform where you can run multiple types of like tournaments through it. Yeah, I think there can be Pokemon, because they even said, you can specifically move your Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet through home into this game. And I'm like, well, why would I need to do that if there wasn't some type of a VGC support to it?
I wonder. Well, anyway, I guess we'll be finding out sort of later in the year, whenever they say it's coming out.
I'm with it. You know what else I'm with? The next thing on your list.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Oh, wow, I gotta say it.
Yeah, so after a year of no news following its announcement on Pokemon Day 2024, Pokemon Legends ZA finally has a release window. I'm
Pokemon
glad
ZA.
that they clarified that because I didn't know if it was Pokemon Z to A or Pokemon Z/A or
I
just
still think it's Pokemon
Pokemon
ZA.
Got him? Yeah. So the game's set to release in late 2025. They did release a trailer. What do you think of it? It's based in Lumio City. We kind of knew that. They show the 3 starters are Chikorita, Totodile, and Tepig.
So that's what I want to start on first.
Okay.
So I hate.
You want to start
this
on the
lineup.
starters?
I hate this starting lineup, and it's not because I hate the individual Pokemon. I hate the fact that it's 2 Johto starters and then 1 from Unova.
It does feel like kind of strange. Like it's like why not just 3? Like why not? Okay, because it's like it's Gen 2 and Gen 5. Why not have a Gen 2, a Gen 5, and a Gen 7?
Yeah, at that point, just put someone else in. It feels so weird seeing Tepig next to Totodile and Chikorita. None of these Pokemon are bad. It just aesthetically is not very pleasing for me.
Yeah, I assume Totodile is probably going to be the most popular one. Like,
I mean, that's the only one I can pick. You know what? I'll pick the Chikorita.
Yeah, I'm going to be picking Chikorita.
I never used Meganium back in like the silver and like gold days.
You monster!
I would never. Cyndaquil was right there.
I was a Chikorita guy when I was.
You always did seem like a Meganium kind of person.
What's that supposed to mean?
I always knew you was a Meganium type.
I was a Meganium sucks ass. Like it's so badly designed. Like it's got all these like little defensive supportive moves, but like they're not useful at all really in a campaign.
But like Legends of Arceus, I'm sure that
they'll be tweaking all that.
It'll change because the Cyndaquil that you get in Legends of Arceus does not evolve into a regular Typhlosion.
It evolves like a weird, lazy looking Typhlosion.
It's like it's a ghost fire type. So even though I don't think it's like an amazing type of Pokemon, but it's definitely more interesting.
This will be an interesting opportunity for us to get to see new takes on these guys' future forms.
I think for Alligator is already a dope design, so so I can't wait to kind of see what that looks like.
Embor, they'll probably have some fun with that.
They can have fun with that. I think Meganium has nowhere to go but up.
It needs the help.
It's already starting at such a low point. It can only glow up from here.
So the other thing that we saw was the battle forms. Or the
battle system is really interesting in true Legends form. I'm saying that like we have a long history. Legends of Arceus already gave us a very different style of Pokemon battle, and this game took it up another notch.
Yeah, how would you describe what we saw?
Oh, almost like action gameplay. Not quite. We know what a real action game is. But you know how in the Pokemon anime, Ash didn't just wait his turn and call out attacks for Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
Pokemon would use Rock Slide, and Ash is like, dodge it, Pikachu.
It seems a lot more like that.
It feels more like that because in the game, you're actually controlling your trainer, and by controlling your trainer's movements, you're actually able to move your Pokemon out of the way of enemy Pokemon attacks. Now, they say attacks don't just have damages, they now have ranges. Yeah. Some attacks are closer range, some are longer range.
Did they say something about them having speed as well or something like that?
He might have said something about speed maybe too. And I imagine there will be like more like area of effects type attacks instead of they're not always going to be lines. Sometimes going to be circles on the ground.
Yeah, I saw Flamethrower looked like it was kind of a straight line thing with a certain range. I would not be surprised if a move like surf or something would be quite wide.
I feel like that changes depending on how it looks in the end result. That completely changes how one might even think about battling in Pokemon, because we always have to think about type advantage. Coverage is the most important thing you can have in Pokemon because we can't just dodge attacks. So whoever has the advantage will win the battle typically. But in this game, because dodging's a thing, maybe we can be more like Ash and say, screw a type advantage. Yeah, if you can't hit me, it doesn't matter. You can't hit me,
it's fine. Yeah, I liked what the gameplay looked like. I thought that, I did not play enough of Legends Arceus. I don't think I gave the game credit.
I finished it. I liked it.
Yeah, mental bandwidth. But I certainly want to try this out. Also, it's based in Lumio City, and I thought that it was going to be sort of similar to the Arceus game, where it was like kind of the distant past of Sinnoh.
It felt Monster Hunter-y.
But this feels a lot more like maybe even like a futuristic sort of look on Lumio City, or at least modern day.
It's hard. I can't tell if this is. I guess this is the future of Pokemon. What was it? Was
Like
it X
Lumio
and Y?
City or X and Y? Yeah.
It feels like this is slightly more like futuristic than X and Y, and like, but it takes place entirely within Lumio City, which is a bit of a surprise.
That seems strange. I felt like, are we gonna even be like leaving the city? Because
I
when
don't
they were
think we
showing the
do.
wild areas, it was like,
Which is a crazy concept.
Yeah.
What city does this?
yeah, like we've locked off parts of the city, and here's where the wild Pokemon just kind of get to.
It's like, and they're not even truly locked. You can just go in, but just know there are wild Pokemon just doing whatever.
I guess their rationale they're saying is like they're kind of doing and what do they call it? Like it's like an industrial renovation sort of.
Yeah, they're trying to make a city that both Pokemon and people can share, and the only way to do that is actually give Pokemon a place to live and thrive in the city. It's one of those things that, like, even in reality, it's nice to think about, but extremely difficult to actually implement, especially since having Pokemon living next to humans creates such huge liability issues that you just wouldn't even be able to have insurance companies. Like, how?
Yeah, that's true.
How can you have an insurance company if, like, Ursaring lives in the middle of the city? Actual bears.
He just hangs out.
Like, how do you have utility companies when, like, a roving rotom can just, like short your entire building?
Or like the Magnezone or something is just floating down the street, just taking the electricity out of the place or whatever.
It can't really work. Like, not in a city. Maybe if we're talking a village, something more like we had in Legends of Arceus, where coexisting with Pokemon makes a bit more sense when you're more primitive. But all the technology in Lumio City,
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't be able to have like the modern conveniences of life.
hell, I've seen videos because every so often I go out to like Tennessee with my family, and there's always these videos of like bears getting in people's cars or even their
Yeah.
houses and cabins, and it's just like
Hanging out?
that could just happen, and you want to just put animals or Pokemon in the city next to you. Yeah, you can't do that.
I wonder if that'll even be like part of the story, is like this little
cleaning up Pokemon
urban
incidents.
development project kind of goes a little wrong, or it'll be interesting.
Oh, and what kind of a menace would Mr. Mime be in a city with traffic?
Oh, that sounds like so much. It would be so annoying, like a Mr. Mime in the
Invisible
middle of the road.
walls.
They also seem to be bringing back Mega Forms, so Mega Evolution.
Which, I mean, I think is not I think it's very common to think Mega Evolution was the best of the. Like,
I think
gimmicks.
it was the best received of them, although it was also kind of the most broken.
Like, I think
Although they all tend to be. Like,
people
in
hated
some
Mega
ways.
Evolutions in the moment, but then when we got the future gimmicks, we are all like, damn, I miss Mega Evolutions.
So that's actually cool, because that means that Chikorita, Totodile, and Tepig will also probably be getting Mega Forms
Yes.
of those next few ones.
Is that enough to save Meganium? Probably not, but it can only get better from here.
Maybe we'll turn it up. Okay, I'm making a hot bet right now. Meganium's going to be Grass/Dragon.
I was also thinking,
I feel like that.
but now that we both thought it, it's not going to happen.
I'll be like Grass Rock or something. I'm just thinking awful. Well, anyways, the game comes after a rocky release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which were slammed upon release in 2022 by fans and critics alike for their bugs and performance
But
issues.
hear us out. That was 2022.
The issues were so bad that Nintendo, the game's publisher, apologized for the game's state, and last year saw the release of no new Pokemon games, a move seen by many as evidence of a longer development time for ZA. And I honestly hope that's the case, because I think these Pokemon games need more time in the oven.
It turns out they went on vacation. They started development on this game in November, and they're like, oh, shit, we got to get something out.
This actually reminds me a little bit of, this kind of internet dichotomy thing that people have, where it's like a new game's announced and people get really hype and they get angry when there's not like footage shown. Like I remember seeing people like kind of middle to late last year, they're like, where's the news of Z to A? Where's the trailer, Game Freak? Like show us the trailer. Where the fuck is it? You're keeping me waiting. But then like conversely, when a game comes out and it's buggy and unfinished, then people are like, oh my God, like they just rushed this game out the door, no quality assurance, like, geez, like Game Freak, learn how to make a proper game. So it's kind of funny, like they're waiting now until they actually have something to show, and it looks like the game, because there's a world where Pokemon Z to A or whatever ZA was revealed last February, and released last November. And I think that they added an extra full year of development because they saw that like Scarlet and Violet just got so much criticism for
I think they knew their reputation can't take the hit.
Yeah, and people see Game Freak as like a very lazy company. Like they just,
You've been peddling the same Pokemon games for the last 2 decades.
Just churning out the slop Pokemon games. And I don't think that that's a completely fair thing to say about Game Freak. I know like it gets so heated on the internet where we feel like we're always right and the company's always wrong and they're just, but like Pokemon has so much I feel like that it has to keep up with, like all the merch, all the shows, all the everything, that I think that it was just always destined to kind of hit a bit of a roadblock at some point.
Right.
So what do you think of the game's graphics? So I guess speaking of that.
I mean, it doesn't look like much better than what we've seen in the past, but that was just like one trailer and I didn't really give it like a deep dive. I just kind of watched it the first time. Mm-hmm. Like it looked fine for a Pokemon game. I wasn't blown away, but we'll see. Is this the benchmark we need to clear for Switch 2? I don't know.
I hope so. I mean, I assume since the new Switch will be out, this game will be available on both, and maybe it can at least run in like a higher resolution, better frame rate, like something like that. We'll see. Anyway, that's actually it for Pokemon. There's one other thing that was like sort of vaguely related was this like anime called Pokemon Dragonite Postman or something.
Are you even sure that's an anime?
It's an anime, they said.
Like what I think is a commercial.
It looked like a commercial. It was like a little minute-long clip of some girl with her Dragonite and they're just flying around having some fun.
Because you can't, because it was in like Japanese, so you can never be too sure. But sometimes those Japanese companies, they'll bust out an entire animated sequence and just be like Japan Postal System.
Yeah, that's true. There was like one Pokemon thing I saw where I was like some little trailer. This is some months back, and it's like shows these Pokemon getting on an airplane, and like it gives an official thing from like Pokemon, but like it was only shown in Japan in like airports for just like airport safety. Like put your seatbelt on so that way like you don't get like rocked around at the plane. And it just had like a Machoke, it was just like he's putting on his seatbelt, and then like it's just. Like they do that apparently in Japan.
I guess
like,
Machoke is the most like human-like Pokemon.
But it was just very random. But I think that's like the culture there is they can just have a random little commercial with like a Grimer tells you to like not leave your trash on the ground or else it'll, you know what I mean? Like just,
or else you won't have anything to eat. I thought they ate trash.
I don't know. It's something.
In fact, I feel like Grimer are good for a city. They eat up all your pollution. They just gotta get rid of the Grimer.
Yeah, then I guess that's
which
the kind of
I guess
problem.
was the concept in one of the earlier episodes, right? There's a city that had like a Grimer and Muck problem, and they were trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, so there's like random little Pokemon shorts that will pop up. So maybe you're right. Maybe this isn't even like an anime. It might just be some random little thing.
Yeah, it is, and it's like it wins multiple awards, and it's the best received anime of 2025.
The animation
so long
good.
Solo leveling.
So what's next? That's all the Pokemon I've got.
So the other one thing I saw, the other thing was a very short Shrek trailer.
Shrek 5.
So if you know anything about me, and you don't, I'm actually a very big Shrek fan. Shrek is one of the few movie franchises that can make as many sequels as they want, and I'll watch them. At first, when I saw we're getting a Shrek 5, I was like, I ain't watching that. Then I remembered I watched the 4th Shrek movie, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch Shrek 5. I'll just do it. They did, but I was like, not if we don't have Eddie Murphy's Donkey, because that's one of the main reasons why I love Shrek.
Iconic.
But of course, Eddie Murphy is playing Donkey in this movie, so I'm locked in.
They reprised a lot of the actors, it seems like.
Yeah, seemingly every important character got their voice actors back. Pinocchio was there, which I thought was hilarious. I never thought
he's
of him
always
as such
fun
a
for
core character, but
hijinks.
he's fun. I like the Pinocchio character.
Zendaya also is. I
think Zendaya seems to be playing Shrek's daughter in the movie. And at first, like, Shrek's daughter, that's a stretch. And I was like, wait a minute. He and Fiona got together in literally the first movie, so it's sure it actually makes sense. Like by movie 5, he probably has a kid.
Yeah, this one's coming out, I think, December 2026. And obviously, it's a very short trailer, but it's one that's been really well received. Like, it feels like Shrek is one of those few kind of just old, like, DreamWorks movies that's so iconic and a part of so many people's childhood. That's how most people learn the song, like, Rockstar or whatever.
You mean from the
What is it?
Digimon movie?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I learned it from the Digimon movie. Actually, wait, I probably saw it in Shrek first, but I remember it from the Digimon movie. But yeah, like it feels like everybody can kind of get behind Shrek, you know?
Yeah, I mean it probably helps or hurts to some degree that Shrek has been a long-standing meme online for what feels like decades.
Yeah, it's a meme in so many ways. Like just there's so many like different little Shrek memes that just all kind of coexist in this ecosystem zeitgeist of Shrek things.
Like my hard assumption about this movie, and I love Shrek, I think it's going to be a cringe fest. I think it's going to show every bit of its age.
How do you mean?
And it's not that I'm saying it's bad. It's just that Shrek was conceived years ago.
Yes.
The people who created, people who played in it, the people who enjoyed it are all old now. Shrek has to somehow bridge a large generational divide. And
True.
We are well into the internet age. We're entering the AI age now. Shrek is going to have to try and pull
It's going to pull humor,
pop
for
culture,
everything.
and meme things, and it's likely going to rub people the wrong way.
You're so right.
Like it's gonna be like, oh, this is so cringe. This whole movie's just a bunch of weird memes.
I think what we're going to have to accept is that there's going to be a Fortnite dance somewhere, some Fortnite reference.
Likely.
There's going to be something that's like vaguely like skibbity toilet, like, you know, just
and like
you're going to have to accept that that's almost certainly making it in.
my hope is we can get a flip that instead of trying to bridge a generational divide, Shrek just becomes the Shrek movie is an old man yelling at the kids having fun. That it just sticks to what it has done and what it knows, and just angrily shakes its fist at all the newer developments in the world. And
That's funny.
It'll be entertaining for us old folk who are not at all happy with how fast and quickly the world's changing around us. And then the young people will be like, oh, this is a boomer movie. It's just for old people. It's even funny. Like, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah. One random little thing. Did you see that the donkey died like a couple of months ago?
The donkey?
The real life donkey that was kind of like the mocap model for Donkey in the Shrek movies.
All right.
Actually passed
Wait a
away.
minute. They did not mocap a actual donkey.
No, they did. They used
Really?
it for like motion capture and for like reference like footage and stuff.
Because Donkey did a lot of things. Oh, wait. There were moments where he did seem very donkey-like.
Yeah, so like, you know, obviously the donkey, the character was always CG, but like they did base it off of like mocap from a real donkey. And so apparently that donkey passed away like this year.
So they didn't even get to see their final work.
Which is sad. Although like maybe, I was going to say maybe they already like recorded some of the stuff for Shrek 5, but I doubt that. Because that donkey's probably so old by now, it was likely.
Maybe that donkey passed so they wouldn't have to see their work bastardized.
My favorite donkey meme is the one where he's just like staring directly at. Have you seen that one?
Is that the one where he looks pitiful?
No, it's just like the reaction image on Twitter that everybody uses where it's just donkey, he's like judging you. Like you'll see it. You've seen it. I promise you've seen it.
Okay.
People know what I'm talking about. Anyway, okay, well, I've also got a fun little, speaking of Twitter, a little interaction I wanted to highlight. This one's sort of quick.
Did you get canceled again?
Katsuhiro Harada.
Oh, okay.
You know him.
So he got canceled.
You love him. He is the director of Tekken. And you can maybe tell me more about this character, but it's the character Anna from Tekken. Is it Anna or Anna?
What, Anna Williams?
Yeah, from Tekken.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So they've apparently redesigned her in her most recent incarnation in like Tekken 8, right? Is the latest one?
Definitely the latest Tekken.
Yeah. So Anna's coming in Tekken 8, and they changed her design. Well, Katsuhiro Harada is actually pretty active on Twitter. He talks about Tekken
Famously
stuff.
so.
He shares lore. He responds to fans. He's very like down to earth about it. It's quite cool because you don't see that many directors really being like that and like developers and stuff. Well, anyway, here's what somebody tweeted at him. They said, "Can you guys bring back the old Anna design? I don't like the new design. Replacing Anna with this new character is the devs' way at getting back at Anna fans for all these years of support. It makes me feel sad."
That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, that's what this person tweeted.
That tweet actually doesn't make sense.
Well, it sounds like Harada agrees with you. In fact, he had a little bit more to say about it.
Uh-oh.
While 98% of the fans are welcoming this, there will always be people like you, he says.
The 2%.
I understand and sympathize that it may not suit your personal taste, but if you prefer the old design, past works already exist. I'm not taking those away from you. Also, you refer to yourself as Anna fans as if you represent all Anna fans, but used to express your opinion as an individual. You threaten to quit if she isn't brought back. You complain the moment she is brought back. You demand that she be reverted after she has been completely redesigned from scratch, including her model and framework. And if she actually were reverted, you just say, that's recycling. Either way, your method of expressing your opinion and the content of your argument are entirely unconstructive, utterly pointless, and above all, disrespectful to the other Anna fans who are genuinely looking forward to her.
Jesus.
He fucking told this guy about himself.
Like that. Whew. I've heard about being read before, but I've never, not in tweet form like that.
I gotta say, I'm with him. I like when it's so refreshing to seeing a developer just like go off on these people a little bit, because you get on Twitter these days and like you'll just see these people who have so much shit to say about these games. If they change this, it's bad. They change that, it's bad. Change this back, or you're never listening to the fans. You ruin this thing. This company's spiteful. This company's lazy, and like this director sucks and he hates everybody. And it's like it's good to see that Harada is like, listen, no. You say you speak for all these Anna fans. No, you speak for yourself, and your opinions are bad. And like you don't understand anything about this, and you'd complain even if it was the other way around. And I don't know. I kind of agree with him.
Yeah, I mean, the Tekken has been pretty good about redesigning characters, especially in the last two games. So you shouldn't expect your character to look exactly how they used to look in previous titles, for no matter who your character is. They even changed Jin, and Jin doesn't need to change. He's just always Jin. But I don't know. I only saw the introductory trailer where she fights Nina for a few seconds, and it looked fine to me. But I'm not like a huge like Anna fan. Not that I don't dislike her. It's just I don't feel one way or another about her or Nina really. They can look however they want. I'm glad they're in the game because I've played many Tekkens. They've been in many of the Tekkens I played, so I would like to see them in the game, no matter what their design is. But maybe if you're like a big fan, like a main of a character, you're more picky about their design. I haven't had a situation where I felt like my main looks like bad to me.
Yeah, I'm one of these people too, where like when they redesign a character, I'm usually just like, sure. Like I guess like I don't get that attached to how like my favorite character looks. Like I just like the characters. Like you know what I mean? Like does that?
No, I mean I'm right there with you. I mean,
because I remember
in Soul Calibur, I've never played an Ivy that wasn't hot. Like Ivy's always hot in every game, so it's like. It doesn't matter doesn't matter how they redesign her.
Like I remember when Street Fighter 6 was coming out and they were like, redesigning some of the core cast. It's like, oh, like Ken looks so like, he's on the run and he's kind of let himself go. Like not like let himself go. He looks
and
more
then
like
he
this.
Shoryukened you into the stratosphere.
Yeah, and it's like, and people are like, oh, they changed Chun-Li this or Ryu looks like this now, and I'm just like, cool. I'm okay with them. Just change these characters all you want. Like make them look new and different. Like. I don't know. I guess when people get so fussy about it, I start to just be like, it's fine to have that opinion, but they'll get fussy and they'll like accuse the developers of things. Like you're trying to ruin this thing and like disrespecting us. It's like, okay.
It's like, relax. Like you paid money for the game, you supported it, but that actually didn't entitle you to like rant online.
Yeah, let's go Harada. He even tried to bring like Waffle House into Tekken. He said he'd look into it. So
like, he thought about it. Like, Waffle House probably wasn't down. They probably wouldn't want that to be their image.
Next story, what you got?
So I haven't seen the trailer for it, but I understand it's not a long trailer. We finally got a look at the Lanterns HBO TV series. When I say lanterns, I mean Green Lanterns.
I saw something about this on Twitter.
Yeah, we now know our main characters and the actors playing them. That is Aaron Pierce and Kyle Chandler as Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. So this will be a dual protagonist Green Lantern show, which if you've followed at least the leaks about Lanterns, and if you just know anything about the Green Lantern Corps nowadays, you knew it couldn't just be a Hal Jordan fest. Yes, if you're a Hal Jordan fan and only a Hal Jordan fan, I'm sorry, but the Green Lantern Corps is way bigger than him now, and Jon Stewart at this point is every bit as much the Green Lantern as he is.
Apparently there wasn't even a trailer. It was actually just James Gunn posting an image.
Oh, wow, really?
He's been kind of doing that lately, like, because, he's now, like, basically over the whole DC EU or whatever. He just posted just that image of these two just...
Oh, okay then. So that's all we got.
Yeah, I don't even think he, like, captioned it.
Because, I mean, I remember hearing about rumors about Lanterns for, like, forever ago, but I thought it just disappeared in the wind. We knew DC Comics was switching things up, so I didn't know if Lanterns was actually going to happen. Well, it is happening. I know you don't know anything about the Green Lantern.
I know there was a show... It was like 2010, 2011 maybe. It was like
they had
old
some
Green
cartoons.
Lantern show.
The
Ryan Reynolds was in that one.
Oh, that was the movie.
Okay, yeah. Never mind. I don't know.
So in DC Comics, there's something called the Green Lantern Corps, and it's a group of space police, you can call them. And they all have these rings that make green light, and they fight bad guys. Well, Hal Jordan is the is considered the Green Lantern for most, and historically was like the Green Lantern. But over the years, DC Comics has introduced so many more Green Lantern characters, and it's not that Hal Jordan isn't. They just also get rings. Okay. They have different jurisdictions, but many of them are from Earth too.
So they're all kind of like the character Green Lantern.
It's a title.
It's a title. Okay, so you like earn it.
Yeah, you are a Green Lantern.
Interesting.
And Jon Stewart was famously a Green Lantern in like the Justice League cartoon, and people really liked him.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So we fuck with Jon Stewart's Green Lantern. We actually like him way more than we like Hal Jordan. But I know Hal Jordan fans. Yeah, I mean that's your guy. We get it. We'll allow you to share the screen with Jon Stewart.
Interesting. Well, that's supposed to be happening. I saw a quote from James Gunn. I don't have the story for it, where he was like, "Yeah, we would make like a DC Marvel Rivals or something." Like I saw this quote. I don't know what this is from.
Nonsense.
Thoughts on this?
I mean, what is there to have a thought on? Like someone asked him a question that he shouldn't have been asked in the first place. Like James Gunn is in charge of DC's like movies and television shows, has absolutely nothing to do with video games based on DC Comics, since all of that is through like Warner Brothers Studios.
Yeah, that'll be totally different.
And Warner Brothers Studios just downsized like a mug. So
do you think that there could be like a DC Marvel Rivals like sort of equivalent? Give them a little team shooter.
Sure, they'll do it poorly.
I mean, DC is so known for like just always kind of being in Marvel's shadow, at least in the
they can't
in the
even
modern day films. Sense.
Video games used to be something that DC Comics had over Marvel purely because of the Arkham series. Now DC has shown that we can't do that well anymore. Marvel's got us beat in video games too.
Yeah.
So sure, go ahead and copy Marvel if you want DC Comics. It will probably not go over well. Would I play a DC Comics hero shooter? Even though I want to say no, I'm a big comic book fan, so I'd at least give it a crack. I don't have like a lot of faith in like DC Comics based video games, just because of how the last few have gone. Because I mean, there was Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. We saw how that went.
That was the like little looter shooter.
Yeah, that nonsense.
People didn't like it. It was like it charge you full price.
We gave Harley Quinn a jetpack so she can be like a shooter, whatever. There was the card game. What was it called? Duel Force.
DC Duel Force.
Which was okay, but it was really, really cheap.
Like just badly made, you mean? Like just the quality?
Yeah, like quality-wise, like it had its own independent launcher. I don't even think it was on Steam or anything.
Oh, I remember that. That was one where like it always played in like a weird window and like you couldn't full screen it. Oh my God.
Come on, put real money behind your things. There was the Gotham, was that Gotham Knights, the one with all of the sidekicks?
Yeah, people didn't care that much
Which,
for that, I think.
that thing went through so many changes and revisions. I don't think it was truly a bad game, but I don't think it was a perfect game for anybody by the end of it. It seems
like DC, they just kind of struggle with the games.
And now
kind of the
Warner
movies.
Brothers is downsizing. They canceled a Wonder Woman game they were planning on making. It's a shame, but it's probably for the best. They probably are doing a bad job. I don't know.
I'm hoping
and that's not a criticism of the specific developers who are working on these games. I believe all game devs are trying their best. I just believe that the corporate heads on top of them are horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that this new Superman movie that's coming up can really kind of reinvigorate this whole new DCEU under James Gunn. I know the trailer looked good. I root for DC just because Marvel's kind of been fumbling a little lately, so at least give them some competition.
You say that now. Then we're in year 6 of DCU's reign.
Yeah, then I'm tired of that too.
As they build up to their big Doomsday event. Oh wait, that's interesting because they could have a Doomsday too, since they have a character named Doomsday.
That reminds me, by the way, Daredevil Born Again next week.
A
double header first
episode. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna
double
be fire.
header.
And I know some of you guys get tired of us talking about the MCU. Well, too bad.
Paul's
an MCU boy.
I'm a Daredevil boy, I'll tell you that much. All right, let me give you guys our last little story. This one's a fun one because I got it in a little AI, y'all.
Oh, got it.
Now, this one's not as doomy as they usually are, although I guess it's doomy if you're an investor. Microsoft's CEO admits that AI is generating basically no value.
That's funny.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, whose company has invested billions of dollars in ChatGPT maker OpenAI, has had it with the constant hype surrounding AI. During an appearance on podcaster Dwarkesh Patel's show this week, Nadella offered a reality check. Here's his quote. Us self-claiming some artificial general intelligence milestone, that's just nonsensical benchmark hacking to me. Instead, the CEO argued that, by the way, artificial general intelligence is like that thing that ChatGPT is saying they'll hit and by 2020, whatever. Instead, the CEO argued that we should be looking at whether AI is generating real-world value instead of mindlessly running after fantastical ideas like AGI. To Nadella, the proof is in the pudding. If AI actually has economic potential, he argued, it'll be clear when it starts generating measurable value.
Yeah, money.
So the first thing that we all have to do is, when we say this is like the Industrial Revolution, let's have that Industrial Revolution type growth, he said. The real world benchmark is the world growing at 10%. Suddenly, productivity goes up and the economy is growing at a faster rate. When that happens, we'll be fine as an industry. Needless to say, we haven't seen anything like that yet. OpenAI's top AI agent, the tech that people like OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman say is poised to upend the economy, still moves at a snail's pace and requires constant supervision. So, yeah, sounds like Satya Nadella's not impressed with AI.
That's crazy to say when you're invested in it and
as deeply invested
you're actually
as Microsoft
criticizing your partner in this.
I mean, this is something that we talk about so much on here. It feels like every other week is I will admit that AI can do some neat party tricks here and there. I don't know, but is there any? If you're an investor, where is the value coming from? It feels like just this venture capitalism, hurry, get in. It's going to be big, guys. It's going to be big. And when it is, it's going to change everything, guys. It's going to be big. But
the way AI will make money in the near future is not by generating revenue. It'll be by cutting costs. And by costs, I mean labor.
Yeah, developers and stuff will be cut.
Before we reach AGI and all these very fun terms of how smart the AI can get, we're first going to start removing the need for humans in certain positions. I mean, I saw an article. That's one I wanted to grab. It was an article. I think it was Zuckerberg talking about how he's planning on replacing mid-level programmers with AI. And that will be the way of the world, that if you're a programmer and you're not considered one of the best in your industry, you're likely to just be replaced by AI, because in the short term, AI is learning the code and it can do a decent enough job of it where all you need is someone to check its code. And you're good. You're good to go.
It's such a frightening analogy because it's so similar to the whole Walmart self-checkout sort of deal, where why have 4 cashiers, we can just have 4 or 8 self-checkouts and then one cashier who's just kind of there to oversee them and help.
And I feel like Walmart and them, they've hit their like stride with that. Nowadays, you will see an entire self-checkout section with only one human employee there.
Yeah, I mean, I think too that with AI, like, it just feels like the biggest thing that consistently seems sort of useful about AI is that it can like summarize some stuff for you, and then even then you got to double check it. Like, it can answer some basic questions. You can dump an article at it and be like, okay, summarize this for me. I've seen a lot of people do that. It can write an email for you, and like that's all good and well, but I just don't see where the value is coming in from that if you're a company. And like, I don't know. I guess I'm such a like little AI doomer. I get it. Like, it's cool. It's the future, and I'm not even at this point. I'm not denying that use exists. I've said before that like my mom uses little. I told her like, oh, you can like ask Gemini basic questions about like some things, and it can like tell you, and it sometimes saves her a little bit of trouble. But
I truly think AI will ruin this world before it helps it.
I think it's not. It's weird because like I think that it is probably making some individual sectors a little better. I've heard there's some developments where that's a thing, but I think that for the vast majority of people, I worry that like. Because you see these articles from these teachers where they're just like, yeah, I can't, like these students will not stop using ChatGPT for everything. There's almost no point in me teaching them how to read and write because they've lost confidence in their ability to even think about that.
The trick to it is to actually teach the kids so little, they're too dumb to even use ChatGPT.
They don't even know what to ask it.
There you go.
They can't do prompting if they don't know how to type it.
The prompt, they can't type.
That's true. Yeah, so some people think that Nadel's podcast appearance was seen as a way for Microsoft to temper the sky-high expectations, calling for a more rational real-world approach to measure success. So some people think he's just covering his company's ass because, like, well, we invested a bunch and people are expecting these like huge results by like 2028 or something, and he's kind of like,
that's typically what happens when you invest billions. People expect results, but like it's like we talked about before on the pod. It's AI technology is an arms race. It's not about getting profitable AI technology. It's just to not be left behind, because when AI finally reaches a point where it gives a business, a corporation, a country a noticeable advantage, you don't want to be too far behind once that happens. Yeah. So everybody's just investing their money with the hope that when the day of reckoning comes, they're on par.
Yeah. Time to do some pot. So, we have a shard now. So there's that. But, yeah, we do have some really interesting questions that I think people asked this week. So thank you guys so much for that. Remember, you can always submit questions to the Shard of Greed at the link down below in the video description. We will answer them. We will chat about them and talk about them. Also, a good time to remind you guys that you can follow the specific Pod of Greed podcast account on Twitter. I sometimes put up updates there. I put them up on the channel community tab here on YouTube. And you can become a channel member and support the podcast.
Join the fam.
We would love to have you here. The Squad of Greed can be part of the Shard of Greed. I'm trying to go somewhere with these analogies. They're really not working. Well, Hearts Race 25 says, hello, love the podcast. Thanks. I've spent hours and hours listening from December to January trying to get caught up and hear each episode. I'm on episode 37 now.
What episode are we on?
It was like episode 95.
Oh, they got a ways to go, but they're in for a good time. It's going to be a while before they hear this answer.
They're not going to hear their question get answered. I'll try to keep this short. Paul has mentioned a few times so far that Konami is now designing overpowered cards that do all the things and end up banned or limited quickly, seemingly on purpose. Do you think that maybe they're possibly future-proofing the game for future power creep by having cards that will be ready to go when power level is a good fit for them? I.e., buying a $5,000 graphics card and not having to buy another one for 5 or 10 years until the games catch up. And or knowing the cards aren't quite a good fit and not wanting to waste the R&D yen that went into cards that made it that far into the development process. So far, I have not heard this idea be mentioned. Your thoughts?
Interesting. The idea that Konami might be just making very powerful cards that will need to be hit, but it's okay because eventually we'll reach a point in the game where these cards are perfectly fine.
Oh, so like, because I think he's saying like basically like stockpiling the broken stuff and just kind of stowing it away for when it's time, sort of. Because that sounds like what he was suggesting. I don't know though.
Like it sounded like, well, by stockpiling they get banned and then they can get released when they're okay. Is that how it sounded like to me?
Oh, okay.
But I might have misunderstood the.
We'll go through both actually.
Question.
Okay, so as for your thing, then, so you're saying like they make a strong card, they ban it,
I guess
and then it's like, okay, in a couple years, we know that it can come off and then be fine.
Right.
That's really fucking nefarious if that's true.
I think that was the case some time ago. I feel like cards nowadays are a little too rude. I don't know when we'll have a format where we can allow full power tier again.
Yeah, they certainly kind of push it really far.
When is a Rise Heart gonna be okay? Because the moment a Rise Heart comes back, it's like that.
It starts to get a little crazy. It's interesting too because like sometimes you get a different perspective on what a broken card even is because like time passes and so it's like, well, like Master Duel has a Rise Heart legal, but it's just limited all the other Kashtira cards so heavily that like the deck just doesn't function well anyway.
But I feel like, in this scenario, there should be a point in power creep where we can have full power Kashtira and it wouldn't be a problem. But the problem is I don't know if we can actually do that.
Same with tier. So it sounds like what you're suggesting is almost that, and I've felt this way for a long time, is that power creep might have hit at least a temporary plateau in like 2022, basically, kind of 2022, early 2023, with like tier and Kashtira and stuff. And we're talking full power versions of these decks. All cards at 3, every single card at 3. And that if those were to come back even today in 2025, they would still probably immediately eclipse Ryzeal, Malice.
You just add a Fiendsmith engine to them and call it a day.
Right. And I think that it's honestly true. The other interpretation of it was, I guess, the idea that maybe they're just kind of designing broken stuff and they sit and wait on it. But we'll never really know that because that would just be in the R&D office. That's true. That would
just be locked away in R&D and Jerome won't tell us.
I've heard it through the grapevine that cards are designed approximately 2 years in advance. I remember hearing something about like that's how it kind of works in Japan.
Which is crazy.
Like they're roughly like 18 to 24 months out. And the reason I think that that's probably true though is because when they make these lore archetypes, they probably have to plan the entire like line of lore. Because if you think about Diabellstar, she came out like kind of later half of 2023, and her story will basically be finishing up here in like this next set. So they probably designed a lot of it around the same time. Like maybe not all exactly the same time, but like they would have known at that point that we're going to have like the Snake Eyes, we're going to have the Goblin Bikers, we're going to have the White Force, we're going to have the Azamina. Like, so I buy that ideology. And maybe if you're designing 2 years into the future, would you say that like that would kind of just give you the ability to better temper power levels since you kind of know what you want the power level to look like at a given date range?
I feel like that might be difficult to do given the way players are playing these cards nowadays. We're playing more piles, we're playing more engines, and we're looking for any synergies we can get out of it. I don't think Konami's R&D team is in a position to actually predict what we're going to do exactly. Some things are obvious, right?
Yeah.
Fiendsmith combined with any one Fiend deck, of course you can plan for that. But the way people are bridging from like Ryzeal into Fiendsmith, into I keep forgetting the name of those reptiles.
Exclusive, yeah,
Mitsurugi. I don't think they plan
that's
for
true.
that.
It feels like it'd be hard to predict.
And it feels like Yu-Gi-Oh, unless we leave the engine era, it feels like that's just where we are now. That things are just gonna bridge, and it's gonna be just like some person's gonna find a bridge that breaks an already strong strategy, and it won't be predictable.
Next question is, hello again from Southeast Asia. Here's a little bit about where I come from. My country does not have any official distribution from Konami, so the local stores had to import their products from either the UK or the US. It makes playing any meta deck from box sets very expensive for someone whose average income is about $500 USD per month. Thankfully, the introduction of Asian English sets in recent years makes it more affordable for someone like me. My local card shops sell both the TCG and OCG cards. They also allow players to use both of them in local tournaments, as long as they're official products. That's kind of an interesting solution.
I've heard of that before.
My question for you guys is, what is your breaking point of the purchasing cost that forces you to stop buying the chase cards and look for alternatives or wait for reprints?
So for me, I hit that with Snake Eye. When Wanted and Diabell Star were so expensive, I'd never purchased proxies before, but I bought proxies of Wanted. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that was when it was like $100.
It was way too expensive. Then someone pulled. I think you pulled one.
Yeah,
then I had two. Because I pulled one, then you pulled one, and then I just okay, I'll just bite the bullet and buy one at this point. Because it was a new month, a new budget, and I was like, I can risk it.
A new month. It's I couldn't buy it on February 28th, but I can on March 1st. I know what you mean. I was going to say, sorry, go ahead.
But that I did hit a limit when the meta deck had I need cards at 3 and 50 was cheap for some of them. That was a problem.
So I actually have I've got two sort of different sides to this, or perspectives I have. The first one is, if I have very rare impulse moments where I just want to buy the most expensive thing for a deck immediately. They do not happen often. They happen decreasingly often.
A master of self-control.
Every past year. Apparently so, compared to Alec anyway, because Alec is... Okay, funny story. This is a total tangent. Two or 3 days ago, Alec was like, okay, I'm finishing my White Forest Azamina deck or whatever, and I was like, okay, if you want to kind of learn just the gist of how to play it better, you could probably do some reps on Master Duel, since they've got all the White Forest cards out. So Alec, who has not played Master Duel in a little bit, it was like, okay, cool. I'll play Master Duel. I can throw it on my phone, just play it whenever I get some time. And dude opens up Master Duel, doesn't have very many gems or whatever. He hasn't played in a year or something, and just so casually just hops on that shop page, goes to the largest gem pack, and just and it's tap to buy.
Okay,
one
slow
tap.
down. It wasn't the largest gem pack. It was the largest of the
promo
the promo ones, the cheaper ones.
How much was it?
30
something dollars,
34, somewhere around there.
And just no thought about pressing that button. I was just
what
bye.
do you mean? You don't have to think to press.
I do.
Just press the little button, and then the rest is history.
Alec does not care. Those mobile games get it out of him. Anyway, the point is though, it's rare for me to want to spend money on
Still don't have a deck built.
Yeah, I know. I still got to pull and stuff for that. Yeah, it's rare for me to want to kind of be we're talking physical cards here, buy a Fiendsmith engine, buy Molcharmies. I think the last time I went all in on something like that was 2017. I bought Dragonic Diagrams. I remember I purchased a playset of those. It was $80 at the time.
That was a while.
And that was a long time ago, and that was because I was planning on going to a couple of regionals and going to nationals. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of make this my deck.
Yeah, Paul played the mess out them diagrams.
I don't know that I've really done it particularly anytime since. Any other time I've been playing something that's just more budget in general, like Cyber Dragon or Grin Maju or whatever.
Paul, whatever happened to those cards?
Which cards?
Your deck.
Dragonic Diagram?
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
I think I traded it, sold it,
because I was playing Perform Pals at the time with Zoo, and while Zoo got banned, I actually have all my
I remember
pals.
Dragonic Diagram got reprinted, and then I just kind of was well, this sucks, and I think I sold it to someone maybe. I don't know what happened to those cards.
He didn't care about that deck.
Not too much at a certain point.
It's okay. I've sworn off from playing Pendulums ever again, so I don't really mess with mine either.
Now, here's my slightly more arrogant side of this. In all truthfulness, I really don't think that I even really need Molcharmy for Wallows to do well in tournaments.
Oh, he says the rest of y'all do though.
Because that's right. No, but the thing is, sometimes these cards will come out. Fualos is it's $90 or something, and it's so hard to get, or I need Fiendsmith to play. I understand maybe wanting to play the Fiendsmith engine because you think it's cool, or whether there's just some cool synergy with your deck. But when it comes to stuff like Dominus Impulse and Molcharmy Fualos and stuff, they're expensive, but sometimes I'll just go to these tournaments, like kind of like we're talking locals and
just like
regional. No. I'm not saying it's like freebie wins. I'm saying that it is. I do not actually find myself feeling that handicapped by my lack of having those cards, and I feel like generally I've not actually struggled in that regard. Like I've gone to a few different paper tournaments recently with like Voiceless Voice. I have no Molcharmies. I have no Dominus, whatever, Purge, and like I haven't felt it to really be an issue. Like, I think that I would probably hit that wall if I was really kind of like grinding my teeth at like YCSs, maybe regionals. But I think people convinced that like they hear this narrative about like you have to have these cards to play. Mm-hmm. And I'm not always convinced that that's true. I think that there are some cases where it's true. Like, maybe the last card I'd say that it kind of felt like you needed it was maybe Pot of Prosperity, just because there were a lot of decks.
I was thinking SP.
Maybe SP, maybe not.
SP felt like a strong power creep over IP.
Or over Unicorn.
It was...
IP into SP was kind of a thing.
IP into SP, but like when you didn't have SP, you just had to rely on your IP and Unicorn.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Feel bad.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. True, and at least with like SP, it was like you only had to have one. But like I remember Pot of Prosperity feeling like there were decks that really needed that consistency boost to feel smooth.
Because your other option was Extravagance, and you know what that meant.
Yeah, so I don't know, but to answer the question, I guess my breaking point is like I am at a point where like I am not buying a like $90 card, $80 card. No, I'm not.
Can I see your collection again?
$50 card.
Can I see your collection again?
No, that's different. That's different because here's the thing: my collection is like a collection. Like I've got some collection cards, but I'm talking about like just this deck has this expensive card, and you just have to have it to play it tomorrow at the local 12-person tournament. Like no, fuck no, I don't need.
So if you had to go and play Blue Eyes, you wouldn't go get you a Primite engine for the deck.
Oh, I wouldn't be playing Blue Eyes, first of all.
But if you had to play Blue Eyes.
I had to do it, what's the context of the event?
It is... let's say it's the next Worlds shop tournament where you can win on those black envelopes.
I wouldn't be playing Blue Eyes then.
But you have to.
Oh, I'll just play 3 structures, see how well I can do. I guess it's just like that's another thing. It's like I have to like the deck. Like if I'm like playing something I don't even like and then being asked to play, like Jesus Christ, it makes you wonder though how many people are like almost like living this weird life of misery of like they're playing a deck they barely like because they heard it's good, and then they're also forcing themselves to like buy these cards because they've heard that they need to have them.
I've actually seen that play out quite a few times. I've seen people like go immediately like start selling their cards after a tournament because they hate this deck.
Hate the deck now.
Like I only built it because it was good, and I bricked all day. I hate these cards. I'm selling it at the next vendor.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm not. Whatever.
Now I think about it. I saw someone. They bought a deck because it was good. They bought it from someone. They bought a complete deck because they heard it was good. They played it in tournament, hated it, sold it. And then the next week, they wish they had the deck again.
Yeah. I have to like my Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I think you're the same way. Like
I love my Yu-Gi-Oh
decks. I can't play decks I don't like because I just heard they're good. I mean, I guess it's tough if you do like Blue Eyes and you feel like you got to have these Primites to manage.
Well, Worldly Load's getting a reprint, so.
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's like, I can always wait for a reprint.
And that way, at least Konami didn't leave you hanging.
Yeah. Well, anyways, here's the next question. Are there any common cards from your childhood that you totally dismissed as being garbage but ended up being really good, like Upstart Goblin? For me, I think about Armed Samurai Benkai and thinking it's garbage as a kid, but now having a lot of fun as a strong rogue strategy in GOAT format.
Pot of Greed.
You thought Pot of Greed was bad?
Yeah, no, because I clearly threw away like 30 of those things.
Well, I don't think you would have thought they were bad. Maybe you did.
Because we played Playground Yu-Gi-Oh. We weren't thinking about like how to actually use these cards.
I would think though as a kid though, like everyone in the show plays Pot of Greed, so you just be like, oh, they all play it, so I should play it.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was good. Mm-hmm. You know what was good to me?
Huh?
Blue Eyes.
I mean, that's to to your credit, Blue
I
Eyes
even
was
thought Gate
shiny, and
Guardian
Pot of
was
Greed
good.
was like a rare, so it probably didn't look as impressive.
I was trying to make my my wall shadow.
Wall Shadow. I'm trying to think of like a common card that I might have just kind of been like, yeah, this sucks. Okay, there is a funny one, and we made a joke about it in a skit once. I actually thought that like stuff like Imperial Order was just awful. Because I was like, it's like telling me I can't play spells. Like, why would I want to play this? Like, it's like saying like, oh, it'll just negate all your spells.
They can't play spells.
Yeah, I mean, you can't either, but it's also like you just chain it and it's broken. Also, that was the period of time where with Imperial Order, you could even choose not to pay and just destroy it whenever you wanted.
Everyone thought Max C was bad.
That's true.
And then we all dismissed Effect Veiler.
Yeah, I remember those cards came out so early on, and they were for a period of Yu-Gi-Oh! Beyond there.
Like, I specifically remember saying, this Max C is bad. I remember people saying it when it came out.
I remember people were like, yeah, like it's like this fringe side deck thing. Like, maybe
Like,
the weird
might
hipsters
come up
will play Effect
against
Veiler.
one deck.
Yeah, so question for Alec.
Oh,
I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh! / Pokemon lifer.
all right.
But I did watch the first 3 Digimon animes intently as a kid, and even had a few of the initial card games.
Digifan.
One thing that stands out the most to me and confuses me as an uber casual Digimon fan is the whole branching Digivolution tree. Like how Agumon can digivolve to several champion level Mons that aren't Greymon derivatives. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on branching Digivolutions? Do you prefer if they just kept it simple, so like linear lines?
So the branching Digivolution lines comes from the older like VPET days of Digimon. Because Digimon didn't start off as an anime; it started off as the little VPETs. And depending on how you raise your Digimon, you got a branching path. Typically, if you did a good job, your Digimon would stay on the good path. If you did a so-so job, there was kind of a neutral path. And if you did a bad job, there was a bad path you could digivolve into. And over the years, they made so many of these VPETs that it created quite a web of what a Digimon could all digivolve into. And for a lot of people, they latched on to that. It was kind of fun that your Digimon could become damn near anything. Like, you could start off with an Agumon, and next thing you know, it digivolves all the way into a Machine Dramon. By the end of it, it's like, that's not a War Greymon. Well, this Agumon had a very different life that you wouldn't have expected.
I'll quickly chime in here and say I think that it is cool because it sort of feels like it gets to be like your Digimon's more unique story.
Unique, yeah,
their
your
path
unique story.
Through like, being maybe mistreated or being, so carry on.
I remember when I was playing, the last Digimon game I played was Digimon Survive. And I remember, and like any Digimon game, depending on how you interact with your Digimon, that dictates what they would digivolve into. And my Agumon digivolved into a Triceramon. And I was pissed because I want a Greymon, like any regular rational person.
Yeah.
But I hadn't done the best job of communicating and raising that Agumon. It became a Triceramon. And then I told myself, it's like, you know what? That's just what my Agumon becomes. Like, yes, Ty's Agumon went into Greymon. Marcus's became Geo Greymon. I'm trying to think of another Agumon form. I can't really think of one right now. But I think it's cool. It can be difficult to wrap your head around when you're coming from a Pokemon angle, when Pokemon only evolve linearly.
I mean, they have a couple branching things, but it's always like small.
Yeah, there's a few. And then Digimon, it can be weird because in a lot of cases, Digimon have a lot, like they clearly have like a preferred line that they're supposed to kind of go up. Yeah. And then they just don't sometimes.
I like that the fact that they don't kind of suggests loosely that like you probably have done something a little bit wrong as a tamer,
or you did something very right,
or probably something very unique and special, even
because a big part of Digimon was the resurrection mechanic, where when your Digimon dies, it actually gets turned back into a Digi-Egg. And in certain games, that Digi-Egg still has the data of what it once became, and that can completely change the way it evolves the second go-round. I find it really interesting, and it's a good enabler for the card game because instead of oh, if I'm playing an Agumon deck, that means I can only play Greymon, Metal Greymon, and War Greymon on my deck.
That's so true.
He can actually evolve into any one of these Digimon that are appropriate.
That's interesting because I guess it gives the card game a little bit more of a sense that like the immersion is not being broken in the fact that I can turn my Agumon into some random ass thing as long as it's the same color. It's like, no, I mean, Agumon could technically turn into many different things. It also makes you like wonder, you know, I don't know. I guess I'll just say it's cool because I think that does make Digimon feel distinct from like, you know, it's always compared to like Pokemon or something like that. But that feels like a very distinct Digimon thing. Like the evolution of your Agumon or whatever it is could just look nothing like what you started out with. It could just be totally unexpected.
And then if you ever follow like Digimon wiki sites, you can see a very insane tapestry of Digivolution lines of what all a particular Digimon has become. Because like these wiki sites, they'll list like let's take Patamon for example, the little pig thing with wing ears. Patamon has digivolved into so many different Digimon between video games, TV shows, and if you're charitable, we can even include card games, that like you can make a huge tree based off one Patamon, and it could turn into things from Seraphimon of the 3 Great Angels all the way into like evil Cherubimon or even something weird. Maybe it becomes Machine Dramon. Why not? All roads lead to Machine Dramon.
Yeah, Machine Dramon's like kind of the more like it just seems like it's like the failure. Things just all went wrong, huh?
Machine Dramon is one of the like earlier designed like mega level Digimon, so that it does have there's quite a few ways you get to it. It's like the cyborg.
Cool. Well, that's the questions for the pot today. Sorry, the shard today. So, yeah. Hopefully, here in the next couple pods, we might have a different take on what was the Pot of Greed. But thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Yes. It's been a lot of fun. Just a reminder, you can follow us on social media, like I said, and next week we'll be back on Thursday again, don't worry. And in fact, we'll even have a very special guest I think that you guys will want to tune into.
That's right.
We're going to have...
Because we're still one of those pods.
Yeah, we're one of those pods. Sorry, no, we're the only pod.
We're the only pod.
Yeah, we're the only pod in the world, and we're also the only pod that does guests. So, yeah, this is going to be one that you guys will definitely want to look out for. Ex-Konami employee. So, yeah. Anyways, drop a like if you enjoyed it. Give us 5 stars if you're listening.
Premier Gang, put some ones up again.
Yeah, if you're still here, and if I'm still here in the chat and you see me, maybe, who knows about that. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Pass turn.